Alright, good morning. It's August 24th, 2019. First of all, there's a huge fire in Brazil, burning simply the rainforest. So, I'm going to take an educated guess that someone started this fire. And I want everyone to know that Russia has the technology in airplanes to send to Brazil to put out this fire. They have planes that can fly great distances with large cargo space to put that specific, I'm not sure if it's chemical or water, but they also can pull water from the ocean as they fly. So if the world wanted to assist Brazil, Russia is in a place to do this. And if they need economic aid, I don't know why the United Nations wouldn't help them, because this is a human crisis event. This is the lungs of the world. So what is the stalling? This dude in Brazil, he is not going to make any money on a bunch of burnt wood. And that land is not in a area that's easily accessible. They make more money on tourists going to look at the Brazilian forest than burning it down. It's a lie. It's a straight up lie to say that they make money burning that forest down. There are no roads, there's no Mecca, there's nothing. It's a forest. It's a place that we take carbon monoxide and trade it for oxygen. So you guys are they're just being dick bags. Total dick bags. This is a dick bag move. Such idiots. What did those plants do to you, bro? They didn't do nothing but live. Alright, so they're burning down the forest. We're gonna have a shitty quality of air. That's the bottom line. Okay, first of all, let's start off with this. This is from June 19th, 2019. I'm real behind, huh? Who's this guy? Oh, this wind. Who's this guy right there? Come on. Wind, stop. Thank you. Stop. Thank you. Tom Hanks with the... What do you do? It says, Disney icon Tom Hanks says, "The world is my theme park." Eminem said, "The world is his medicine ball." Snoop Dogg said, "The world is my lounge chair." The world is actually a place that everyone has a right to live on. And with the destruction of the rainforest, I have to say this to myself: the poor shall inherit the earth. You know why? Because the wealthy will either leave the planet or go underground, and they have facilities that they're able to exist in a healthier environment, and the rest of us will be left with a scorched planet, and that is dishonorable. So whatever you three, whatever. All right, moving on. Here we go. 8/4/2019, Central Wisconsin. This is how screwed up we are as people. They're saying to tell millennials to give their children their phone so they don't leave their children in the back of the seat of the car. I don't know why your phone is more important than your child, but on August 4th, Schofield dad told police he forgot about son in his car. A Schofield father accused of leaving his 2-year-old son in a car for 10 hours Sunday told the police he forgot about the child. Zachary Wecken, of 22, was charged with child neglect causing great bodily harm and possession of methamphetamine. That's why he left the kid in the car. He was too high to remember. Why did he even have custody of this kid? Why are we giving visitation to these people? What's wrong with our judicial system for children in Wisconsin? We're giving kids to messed up parents way too easily. Judge Jill Falstad continued a $50,000 cash bond and ordered Joaquin not to have any contact with his son or his son's mother and to stay sober and not leave Marathon County. Judge Jill Falstad, originally back in the 80s, was a prosecutor. She knows these. She knows what's up. She knows a dude that ain't gonna do anything right. She knows character. This lady knows what's up. I wish she would have been in charge of my case back in the 80s. She probably would have told that dude to suck his own dick. You know what I mean? According to criminal complaint, around 2 a.m., Joaquin went to his parents' home in Weston to pick up his son. Joaquin and his son returned to home on Grand Avenue in Schofield. Joaquin turned off the car, made 2 trips to take items into the house. He actually walked in and out of the car to take stuff into the house, but the first thing to take in the house wasn't his kid. Around 11:45 a.m., the child's mother woke up from where she was sleeping in the bedroom and found Joaquin asleep on the couch. She woke him up and asked him where their son was, and they looked around the house for him, and then he realized he was still in the car seat. Well, she was a part of this too. She was in the house when he walked in the house, or was she at work? What's going on? Moving on. I'm not sure if I want to do this one yet. This one's screwed up too. On August 14th, 2019, Marshfield News Herald, man accused of starving cows sentenced for child porn. A Marathon County man accused of starving cows on his family farm in March was convicted of child sex crimes Friday. Joshua Litz, 20, of Hatley, pleaded guilty Friday to child pornography, possession, and exposing a child to harmful materials. That's probably because starving the cows, because in the state of Wisconsin, animals are not considered animals, they're considered possessions. So you can do whatever really you want. There's really no law in the state of Wisconsin, unless they've changed it, that makes an animal have any rights as a child or a human being, which I think is wrong. You know, I think that's wrong that we don't consider animals as equal as people, and that's why you have this faction of the mental mind in Wisconsin about what animals and what is priority. Abuse to animals is less than abuse to children, and it should be abuse to a living being is a crime. By talking about them, I'm going to bring up this, I think it was the Wood County News Scanner group. I'm not quite sure which one. This dude had a dog, and he used his dog, it was a hound, and he used his hound to track bears, to kill bears, and he happened to run into a pack of wolves, and they killed his oldest, most prized dog, the dog that built his group of hounds. It was the sire. And he was very hurt and very angry. And I can understand that pain, because he made that dog the way that dog was. That dog was commanded, and that dog knew its job because of him. So there's a lot of time and effort into that dog, as well as love. But do you understand that that dog died the way that dog did what it did? That dog was tracked down by predators and killed, just as that dog tracked down bears, and then the bears were killed. So the dog died a way that the bears died. It was a full circle. It was the way the universe works. What happens on one side must happen on the other. And you have to understand that that man was a very wise man, and he did not kill the wolves. He knew that was illegal. He did not just shoot the wolves for killing his dog, even though it was a brutal murder. He said, if those wolves would have attacked me, I would have shot them. And when they came back, I shot up, warning signs for them to stay away. This is what happens when you go into the forest as a predator and there are predators there. You will be preyed upon. That is the way of nature. Wolves are predators. Wolves do not live in the city like deer and less predatory animals, because wolves are knowledgeable enough to know that the city is dangerous with all these moving cars and whatnot. They can't just roam. They know that. Isn't that funny? They understand that. Wolves will attack farms and destroy the herd of what it destroys, because they're predators. And predators always find the easiest prey. Just as a... Oh, don't you do that, don't you do that, don't stop, Wind, stop. I have this in order, you're messing up my order here. Put my leg on it. Just as a person that hunts children, they are a predator, will position themselves in organizations where there are children. that makes it easy for them to find prey. And they prey on marginal children, children from broken homes, children in orphanages, children where the parents are not paying attention. Much like this child stuck in that car, that dude was lucky a child predator was not walking around and did not grab that kid up. I don't know. Both situations where the kid was left in a car for 10 hours or a person would have grabbed that kid up, both are shitty, and that kid's messed up. Shouldn't have been given back to the mother either. There's some circumstances there that are messed up. So, just be aware, predators align themselves easiest with prey, and nature teaches us that. Point woman gets 9 months for harming sick baby, 8/21/2019. Now, I found it very strange that when this case, just before this case broke in the public, there were a lot of posts on Facebook going through various places of a woman asking for help for her baby, and people were like it wasn't her baby, and it was very strange. It was very strange, like there was all these fake accounts kind of bringing light to the situation, so I'm not sure what that means. You know what I mean? I'm not really sure I want to dig into that. That could be a very sensitive subject. So I know there were Facebook posts in the local community prior to the story breaking. A 25-year-old Stevens Point woman will spend 9 months in jail for tampering with her sick baby's feeding tube at a Marshfield hospital, so St. Joseph's Hospital. Holly Fields was sentenced Tuesday for repeatedly child abuse in the Wood County Court, where Judge Todd Wolf also sentenced her to additional 90 days in jail, which she may serve 30 days at a time if she fails to properly take prescription medications. The baby was in the hospital for 3 weeks. Feeding tube had been surgically inserted into her. The baby's lack of improvement, along with Fields' odd behavior, prompted a medical staff to monitor the baby and mother via a video and other means, according to the court documents. Staff members said they saw Fields disconnect a feeding bag connected to the baby's feeding tube and use a syringe to either inject fluid into the tube or pull material from it, a pediatrician at Marshfield Medical Center told Officer May 12, 2018, according to court records. Fields would use the syringe with an unknown substance and spray the baby in the face around the baby's head before calling for help and claiming the baby had vomited. In 36 hours of monitoring, Fields hospital employees saw 18 separate incidences, according to court documents. 18 incidences. Why did we need to wait for 18 incidences? But what's the saddest part about this is I'm thinking this girl's got Munchausen syndrome by proxy. But I don't know. What's the saddest thing to me about this case is Wolf ordered Fields to complete 200 hours of community service, pay $157,061 in restitution, and keep a job. So she got 90 days for starving her child in so many words or less, so that she can go get a job to pay the clinic back for them allowing her to come in many times and mess that baby's feeding tube up. Because 3 times would not have been enough, 18 times was enough. Moving on. I'm going to talk a little bit about mental health. This is from the July 26, 2019 paper. Montana, Helena. Our authorities say more than 24 children were removed from an alternative treatment center after being interviewed as part of an investigation into allegations of physical and psychological abuse. These state-run facilities need more accountability. They are too many times finding children are being abused. Again, predators align themselves easily where prey is. These are excellent places for predators to find themselves because these are marginal children in society's standards. They're not from a wealthy family, they're from poor families. They have emotional, physical, mental health problems, and they are in the care of the government, and the government hires whom passes their background checks, and they have extensive background checks, but again, predators disguise themselves. We need to become more aware. We need to become more aware how predators disguise themselves. We need to start to release to the public how to profile a predator. And you will be shocked and surprised that they are more normal than you think. Little bit news on beer. Happy hour with CEO Timothy. T-Money? Is it T-Money? Neighbors of Heineken USA. First woman to be head of the U.S. beer company, right there. Women are coming up in the alcohol industry. Take that, all you man-drinking Heinekeners. Alright, let's talk about marijuana. So I just read on the Marshfield on Focus, they did an article about the state of Wisconsin and CBD oil, and the police went and they had this discussion, and they said CBD oil contains THC. We cannot regulate how much THC someone consumes before they get behind a car. Therefore, we need a limit so that when we pull them over, if they've consumed THC, that we can give them a ticket. This was just their way of skipping legalization, because if we legalize marijuana, they can again regulate THC and people can be pulled over and held accountable. So now they've totally eliminated that. I'm not a police hater, but I'm not a police lover, because I feel like the police are working against marijuana reform. And that frustrates me, because here you got all these people messing up with their kids' lives, okay? 9 months for starving your kid. So, child pornography, starving cows. What was that other one? Leaving the kid in the back seat. These are the real issues. Abuse is a gateway drug, and the police are worried about THC in their blood. That's what they're worried about. They're going to come together for THC, but they're not going to say, we have had it with these child abuse. We want stricter sentences for people that abuse their children. That's not a conversation or a discussion. And I think that's bogus. I think that's bogus on you guys' part. Alright. So, Louisiana's long wait for medical pot ends. Louisiana passed medical marijuana. This is Thursday, August 8th, 2019. Marshfield News Herald, right here. A Marine veteran struggling with PTSD and a woman fighting cancer became some of the first people to purchase medical marijuana in Louisiana on Tuesday, as the state became the first in the Deep South to dispense therapeutic cannabis 4 years after state lawmakers agreed to give patients access to it. It took 4 years for them to finally agree this, because you got to understand, the judicial system makes money off of marijuana convictions, because people that get convicted for marijuana typically keep a job and typically pay for their offenses. Other, like sexual crimes, domestic crimes, these people are emotionally unstable. It's harder for them to keep a job. A 41-year-old combat veteran from Bella Chase, Louisiana, made his purchase at Capital Wellness Solutions on Tuesday. He said he tried medical marijuana in California and it changed his life, but he was happy to be able to purchase it in his home state. Randy Meyer, owner of Capital Wellness Solutions in Baton Rouge, saw 3 patients Tuesday and hosted a ribbon-cutting ceremony at his spa-like offices in the state capitol. He has 100 more patients waiting. He said he specifically wanted to create a welcoming office space so patients feel safe and they were in a place where they wouldn't be judged. USA Today, August 5th, 2019. Cannabis bill targets place of origin labels. Alright, so the new bill in California is about labeling where the marijuana is from. I'm trying to get through this. I know 20 minutes is a long time. Thanks for sticking through it with me. Thanks for listening. So, Senate Bill 185 would tighten existing rules to prevent cannabis brands from claiming their weed is grown in a given place, say the Emerald Triangle or Santa Cruz, unless it really is. Supporters of the measure will save consumers from being hoodwinked by knockoffs that might even boost sales for cannabis brands with authentic homegrown bona fides. Wesley Heim, head of compliance and government affairs for cannabis distribution, Mammoth Distribution, has said paying closer attention to placement of origin claims is another sign that the state's legal cannabis market is maturing. They have government positions they created for cannabis marketing. So if you're sitting here thinking that the government doesn't make any money off of legalizing marijuana, you are seriously distorted. They get to make all new offices. And if you do not believe in the state of Wisconsin that the Tavern League does not lobby against this, then you do not understand that the Tavern League is a $10 million business. And they look to lose customers if marijuana is legalized. And to me, there have been way more deaths by drinking and driving than marijuana deaths. But you know what? Soon we'll have statistics, because now they can ticket you if you eat too many edibles or you take too much CBD oil. Here's a fun little fact. You take CBD oil and you go to the clinic and you test positive, you'll lose your medication. Don't take it. You can't take it. You cannot take that in Marshfield if you are on medications that are controlled. Don't do it. Don't listen to it. You've got to follow your rules with the doctor, or they label you non-compliant and it becomes a real bitch of a fucking problem. Trust me, I'm giving you good advice. Peace out, people.